My name is Elijah, and I'm 11 years old. I live in a small town located on the coast of Queensland in Australia. My passion has probably got to be looking after the environment and loving it and wanting to help protect it and teach others to protect it, because it's probably got to be, in particular, the ocean environment, because the ocean is so important to our whole entire world, and I really think that it needs more protecting. My friends would probably describe me as maybe passionate, caring and adventurous. Some strange or fun facts about me: I really love to walk barefoot. No matter where I am, whether it's on concrete, grass, sand or water, I love to walk bare feet on it, although I might not be able to walk on water, but I like to be pretty much anywhere that I can be barefoot, I will be barefoot. I really love Star Wars. I really love Star Wars. It's probably another big passion of mine. I love collecting things, so whether it's snake skin, bones, different interesting things that I find. I have quite a big collection in my bedroom. So when I say I've got a collection, I mean I really have a collection. I collect most things shiny, most things odd, different, from bones to stones and thunder eggs. I like to start fires because I always think that they're so fun to watch. I think my strengths, probably one of them has got to be public speaking, because I get nervous, but that's normal and I still do it. My feet, that's probably another one of my strengths. They're very strong because I walk barefoot, so not the smell, just the strength of them. And my weaknesses, I think maybe one of them, earlier in my life I did have a little bit of anxiety, so that probably was one of my weaknesses, but that's been overcome by spending time in nature and I'm pretty good now. Some of my other interests outside of like being environmentally friendly and doing what I do to help probably is I love playing board games, I love reading, I love exploring nature, and anything sort of interactive I really love to do. When kangaroos walk, they kind of move like leapfrogging but by themselves on the ground. So it's kind of like this. And so around here, you can see they kind of go with their feet here, hands here, and they put their feet in front of their hands. One of the ways I probably describe myself is a voice maybe for the voiceless. Like all the creatures in the ocean, like they can't go into parliament, say, and say, I want rights and take the shark nets out. Say a shark said that, they just can't. But that's what I think I should do. I think I should be able to help and speak up for the ones that can't speak up for themselves. You've got to be creative in the way you speak, you've got to create good ways of speaking, because if you're just speaking like boring, you have to do this, otherwise we can't save the planet, that doesn't really make people want to listen. But if you do it excitingly, like we can do this if we do this and then this might happen, you've got to try and be creative and capture different people's attention. Creativity is a pretty big part in it, yeah. So you might not believe what I'm about to tell you, but hopefully you will, because it is a true story. I was just walking along, going that way, and I saw this little movement in the water. I just thought it was a frog. I didn't think of that much of it. Then I saw this beauty. It's a nice snake skin. But then I saw a tail under a rock. So I lifted the rock and vroom, straight out the water went a snake off into the bushes. So, pretty cool experience. I'm not sure what snake it was, but I don't really mind. I saw a snake and I'm very excited. When I was about 5, I went on my first community snorkel. That really showed me all the amazing creatures that were out there, and many more than I had ever seen. And before the community snorkel, I had always been picking up rubbish. Whenever we saw it, it came naturally to us to just pick it up because we knew it didn't belong there. But when I went on the snorkel, Then I realised that all the rubbish that I'd been picking up was harming all the incredible life that I had seen on that snorkel. In this cave, which is a pretty cool cave in this little cove, but no matter how cool places are, plastic pretty much always finds a way there. I can see back here, there's some rubbish. So this is a shampoo bottle. So this could be very dangerous to many animals because like you can see here, this is coming off. It's got loads of bad chemicals and they just can't digest it. Probably one of my biggest goals in life is to be put out of business. It's not that I don't want to be doing it, but I'd rather not have to do it because then it would mean that there is no plastic or rubbish on our beaches. If I get put out of business, great news, because then hopefully the environment is a little better place. So all that rubbish there, and plastic, is very harmful to marine life. Say you live in New York or 100 miles into the outback, you can still make change, and that's what I really want to teach people. Even if you can't see the ocean, even if you're hundreds and thousands of kilometers from the Great Barrier Reef or ocean, you can still make a difference. Even if it's just by putting your plastic in the recycling or using less plastic, that still helps. Probably some strange facts that not all people know about rubbish and plastic is that it takes a really long time to degrade and become into microplastics. A big bit of plastic, eventually it'll break up and smash on rocks maybe, and it will become tiny bits, so many tiny bits. And so sometimes it takes years, like a plastic bottle, that can take 450 years. It also has a lot of very harmful chemicals in it. They're very dangerous for all marine life. Some of my craziest finds on the beach, probably one of them has to be like a radar dish. So that's probably come off a house and it's like one of those satellite dishes you see on the house. We found that rusting on the rocks and so we picked that up, put it by the bins. And some of the most common things I pick up at the beach probably have to be plastic water bottles, but definitely the majority of what I find is plastic bottle caps and small bits of plastic. Sometimes I can't tell what it's from, but there are loads of tiny plastic bits. There are loads of bottle caps. And some places, not normally on the beach and on the rocks, but sometimes in the grassy areas, there are hundreds of cigarettes, and it's taken hours and we've had to come back because there are so many, but small bits of plastic and bottle caps are probably the two biggest finds that I find. So many of them. And so what I do sometimes with the trash is I take it and I sometimes make things out of it. So like I've made a board that tells people how long it takes until it's gone, although plastic is never really gone. Every bit that has ever been made is still on this planet. And I've also made many things to teach people about the rubbish and how much there is. Like I've made a whale out of rubbish, and so it's not huge, but it's pretty big, and 99% of everything on the whale is plastic. There's only one bone which I just found and decided to stick on, but I just try to use some of it to educate people. Some of the opportunities I've had are Coral Watch ambassador course on Heron Island. And so that was a really great experience for me because not only did I get to be with other people that knew a lot, but I also got to learn a lot myself. And in the end, I became a Coral Watch ambassador. Coral Watch is an organisation which is trying to help reefs around the world by educating people and monitoring the reefs with Coral Watch Health Chart. And so they do this with reefs around the world, and it's a citizen science program, so anyone can do it. Just get a Coral Watch chart, measure the colour of the coral with it, and then submit it into the Coral Watch database. And that helps Coral Watch get an understanding of coral in that area. And they also try and educate people by teaching them about the coral, the importance of it, how they can help and why they should help. I'm also an ambassador for Tangaroa Blue, which is an organisation that is trying to help the world and environment by cleaning up beaches. So they do huge beach cleans and they get tons. It's long and hard, but it's worth it when at the end you see how much you've collected. It's absolutely crazy. There's lots of different creatures and places I've been to in my local area. So like Burrollen Rocks, which is a dive site near me, and so that's got loads of incredible creatures there. There's sea snakes there are loads of fish. Apparently there's a resident dugong, which is like a manatee but a little bit different, but we're yet to see that. I've also been to Utopia Falls, which is a great place. A little bit of a walk and then you get to some rocks and there are some slides. There are some fish there, and slide, you can jump off rocks, slide down rocks, and that's really cool. Then also at Heron, which is another island, and that's absolutely incredible. And then Lady Musgrove, which is just off where I live. It's got so many amazing creatures and so many amazing types of coral. It's absolutely incredible. When I'm in nature, when I'm a little bit ahead of the group, I feel that I can hear a lot more because sometimes the group behind me can be a little bit noisy. It's a whole experience in itself, really, because it's just so amazing, all the creatures I can see. One of my #1 rules and #1 tips to anybody that's trying to help but they think it's too big: do not think it is too big. It can seem big at sometimes, and I think it is big, and I'm just a child, and I feel like sometimes I'm just totally useless and I'm not really getting any change. But with the amount of people that are helping, and there are loads of people helping, change is happening and change is possible. Like, even if it's just you not buying ketchup in a plastic bottle and just buying it in glass, that's a difference and that's change. And so a small thing like that can help. Using less plastic, picking up plastic when you see it, all those things can help. There are also things that we can stop doing, like, even if it's not completely stopped, like shopping. It is so hard to buy groceries without getting plastic. Pretty much everything is in plastic, but you can make a difference by just choosing some things that aren't essential that are in plastic, or maybe swapping them out for things that aren't made of plastic. And so things like that can help. The way people are fishing, like people are dredging rivers and they're changing environments, creating dams, trawling, so many things that are creating destruction in our natural environment. In some places, people put holes in bleach bottles, just chuck it into the water, waiting for the bleach to go out, and then all this fish, or quite a few fish, get stunned by the bleach and then rise to the surface, and the fishermen just grab it and leave the bottle and move on to another area. Nets Out Now is a campaign all across Australia to try and get the shark nets and drum lines out. They are causing so much unnecessary harm, and it's ridiculous because sharks can go under and around them as well, and so they're not really stopping sharks. Most sharks that are caught on the beach side of the net. So they've already gone in and come back out, and then they're caught. And they're not just catching sharks. They're catching sharks that aren't meant to be caught. They're catching turtles, dolphins, and whales. And I know that New South Wales has recently taken its shark nets out for whale season, which is really good because it's taken out for whale season, but after whale season they do get put back in. But Queensland, they're in all year round. And so there is so much change that could be made, but I do feel really passionate about the shark nets because they're killing so many marine life. What I see in the future, probably something to do with animals, like maybe a photographer or marine photographer, spread the word about animals, take photos of them, get them more known. Anything pretty much that has something to do with animals. Sugar gliders. Ice cream. Galapagos. Star Wars. Underwater. Reading. Presentation. Sunrise. Trusting my wild side to me probably means being barefoot, doing instinctive things, trusting my gut, doing what I can, pushing my limits a bit, growing, expanding my knowledge, and pretty much anything that is wild and adventurous. My take on the future has probably got to be that if we continue doing what we're doing, building dams, keeping the shark nets in, doing everything that we're doing, future isn't going to be nice. It's not going to be great. Future generations aren't going to have a nice future. But if we do make change right now, and not in a year's time, not in 20 years' time, not in 10 years' time, right now, then we might have a chance to bring back our incredible ecosystems. No matter how small you feel, and no matter how big the problem seems, you can solve it and you are making change.